Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. To make this crochet basic everyday cardigan you will need a weight 3 yarn, a 4mm hook and 3 buttons. In this tutorial I make a size small. For all other sizes check out my blog crochetwithcarrie.com. This is the yarn I used. You can use any weight 3 yarn you like. So starting at the back panel, we're going to chain 10. Single crochet into the second chain from the hook and then single crochet into every chain. At the end of the row, chain 1 and then turn your work. And now working into the back loop of every stitch, place 1 single crochet. Then repeat this row until you have a total of 89 rows completed. Once you have your 89 rows completed, we're going to be working along the long edge of our ribbing. So chain 2, this does not count as our first stitch, and then make 89 double crochets all the way across. And then at the end of this row we're going to chain up 2 and we're going to do a further 47 rows of double crochet. Don't forget that that initial chain 2 at the start of every row does not count as a stitch. So go ahead and do another 47 rows after this row. Once you have a total of 48 rows of double crochet completed, fasten off and you can put to one side, and we're going to start working on our front panels. So to start our front panels, we're going to begin with the ribbing in the exact same way as our back panel. So we're going to chain up 10 and then single crochet into the second chain from the hook and then single crochet into every chain to the end. At the end of the row, chain 1, turn your work, and then place a single crochet into the back loop of every stitch to the end, and then repeat this row until you have a total of 38 rows completed. So your front panel should look like this. So now we're going to be working along this top edge. So we're going to chain 2, don't forget this chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and make 38 double crochet. At the end of this row we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and then continue making double crochet into every stitch all the way across, and you're going to do a total of 17 rows of double crochet. Once you have your 17 rows of double crochet done, we're going to chain 2 and then turn our work. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So now we're going to start decreasing. So yarn over, insert your hook into this very first stitch, pull your yarn through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull your yarn through, then yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through those last 3 loops. So that's a double crochet 2 together. So now place one double crochet into every stitch all the way across to the end. So at the end of this row, chain 2 and then turn your work. Then you're going to double crochet into that very first stitch and then double crochet into every stitch all the way across. The end of that row, chain 2 and then turn your work, and now we're going to double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert your hook into that very first stitch, pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 3. Then double crochet into every stitch all the way across. So you're going to repeat those last 2 rows over and over again until you're left with 22 double crochet. So you're going to alternate between a row of no decreases and a row of regular double crochet. So once you have 22 double crochet remaining, your front panel would look like this. So you're going to fasten off and leave a long tail, and then repeat this entire process once more for your second front panel. So now you should have 2 front panels. For the sleeve cuff, we're going to chain up 10 and then single crochet. We're going to do 41 rows of single crochet. Now we're going to do a row of double crochet across the top. So begin by chaining 2. This does not count as your first double crochet. So go ahead and make 41 double crochet. So once you have your 41 double crochet completed, we're going to start increasing for the next round. So chain 2 and then turn your work, and into that same space make 2 double crochet. And then place 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way across until you reach the second last stitch. And then into the very last stitch we're going to place 2 double crochet. So you're going to repeat those 2 rows over and over again until you have 55 double crochet. So your next row is going to be a row of regular double crochet, and then the row after that is going to be your increase row. So alternate between a row of regular double crochet and then a row of increase until you have 55 double crochet. Once you have 55 double crochet completed, you're going to go ahead with regular rows of double crochet until your entire sleeve measures 17 inches. Then cut your yarn and leave a long tail. Next we're going to lay our front panels on top of our back panel, but we're going to make sure that these curved edges are facing each other. So go ahead and we're going to sew across the top, right here and on the other side. So next we're going to lay our cardigan out entirely flat like so, with the wrong side facing up, and then we're going to grab a sleeve and mark the center stitch, and we're going to line that marker up with our shoulder seam right there, and then just connect. Then with your yarn needle you're just going to sew across, and then you're going to repeat the same for the other side. Then fold your cardigan over and we're going to sew all the way down along the edges. So now turn your cardigan right side out. Next we're going to attach our yarn to the bottom inner corner, and we're going to single crochet all the way around to the other side. So insert your hook into that bottom inner corner, and then you're going to pull your yarn through, and then you're going to chain one. Into that very first stitch we're going to place our first single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet all the way around until you reach the other side. Once you reach the other side, we're going to chain 7. Then single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet into the next 5 chains. Next we're going to skip that first single crochet that's on the main body of the cardigan, and then slip stitch into each of the next 2 single crochets. So now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to skip over those last 2 slip stitches, and then we're going to make 6 single crochet, but we're going to work each one of those single crochets into the back loop of every stitch. So make 6 single crochet working into the back loops. Then we're going to chain 1 and then turn our work, and working into the back loop of the next 6 stitches, make 6 single crochet. Once you've done your 6 single crochet, we're going to make a slip stitch into each of the next 2 single crochets. Then turn your work and repeat that. You're going to skip over the 2 slip stitches and then single crochet all the way across. At the end of this row, we're going to chain 1, single crochet all the way across, and then slip stitch into the next 2 single crochets. So now we're going to begin our first buttonhole, and every buttonhole is going to be the same after this. So turn your work, skip over those 2 slip stitches, and then make 2 single crochet working into the back loop. Then we're going to chain 2, skip the next 2 single crochet, and then single crochet into the last 2 single crochets working into the back loop. Then we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to single crochet into the back loop of the next 2 single crochets, and then when you reach your chain 2 space, we're going to place 2 single crochets into that chain 2 space, and then place a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches working into the back loop only. Then place a slip stitch into each of the next 2 single crochets. You're going to repeat that all the way around. Turn your work, make your 6 single crochet, then chain 1, single crochet all the way up, and then slip stitch into each of the next 2 single crochets. For the other 2 buttonholes, I got stitch markers and I spaced them evenly apart, just like so. Here's a better angle as to where to put your stitch markers. When you reach these stitch markers, you're going to create your buttonhole like you did with the very first one. You're going to work 2 single crochet, chain 2, skip the next 2 single crochet, and then work 2 more single crochet. And once you have your 3 buttonholes completed, you're going to do the regular ribbing all the way around until you reach the other side. Once you reach the other side, we're going to fasten off and weave in all our ends, attach our buttons, and we're ready to go. So if you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget the free written pattern is on my blog, crochetwithcarrie.com. So until next time, take care.